Hi friends, Russ here with Daisy Lever Gun Fun, and today we're going to talk about the Daisy Lever Gun Fun version of the sight tube. Now, the sight tube was used by Daisy on a couple of their models, of course, famously on the Buzz Barton, but there was another one. Was it the Eagle? That slips my mind right now, but tell you what, that's your homework assignment. Anybody who comes up with the other uses of the sight tube by Daisy, put it in the comments section for us all. Okay, so this is what the sight tube looks like. And how Daisy mounted these back in the day was a little bit different, but not too much different from what we used on this. This is the receiver from a Buck, and the Buck is the model 105. And what 105 and 102s and so forth had in common is the fact that they had the stationary sight, which was also the retainer for the mainspring, and it's stuck down inside right here, anchored around this. The spring pushed it in against it. I guess it sits this way. Okay. And it sits down where this little hump is. Now, if you look at the difference between that and what you have like on this Red Ryder frame, you have, and of course the elevator, I took it out of this one, but this has the sight here, and that retainer is here, and it's just a small, little, I guess, hump shape on the top that sticks out of the receiver. Okay, so what it would be on one of these is a stationary sight that's not adjustable in any way, and it would be one of these that sticks up. Dual usage. But if you're going to try to put a sight tube on here, this gun, it's not so hard. You can just grind off the end of this sight and shove the sight tube underneath here up as far as you can. That helps to hold the front, and you anchor it in the back. You still have the issue with this hump getting in the way, though. And how Daisy solved that on the older guns, they took something like this. Instead of this, they had one that was counterground on top so that this part stuck up, but not quite as far. And it didn't hinder too much laying the sight tube on it. Well, what we've done here is we made a sight tube, and this is a piece of EMT. It's called thin wall tubing for electrical use, or EMT stands for electrical metallic tubing. It's not the same as a thick wall, but it is a lot thicker than you're going to find in the thin sight tubes that Daisy made, or anything you might try to use, say, with a piece of thin aluminum tubing or something. So we still had that strength and that thickness of the steel to contend with. Another thing Daisy did was to anchor the front of it. You see there's a little hump. I'm going to show you what I practiced on here. This is just a hollow hulk from, I believe it's from one of their toy guns. You see what they have up here? There's a hump. And I made that hump by cutting through and actually pushing that hump in by tapping it from the inside to cause that metal to stretch up over top. The reason I didn't want to cut it and try to pry it up is because if you're prying up, you're also taking this and forcing it down inside. You don't want to put any restriction in here, because whenever you have the spring and plunger assembly, it has to be free to go up and down. You don't want anything sticking down inside and impeding its travel. This was easily done. If you could see what I did here, you see how this is cut away? Well, what some folks don't realize is this part of the inside of your little Daisy gun, whether it's the Red Ryder, the 105, the toy guns, whatever, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here beyond this rivet that holds that retainer. So this is pretty hollow. Anything you do in here is fair game. It doesn't hold BBs, because when the BBs travel down through the barrel shroud, they stop at the end of the shot tube, and they feed in one by one from there. So this is an open space. So what I did was cut this away. If you look inside, you see that. I just used a screwdriver and a ball peen hammer, and I kept tapping that until I had it up a hump like that. That little hump is enough to catch a notch in the sight tube. So let me take this sight tube off and explain some of what we did here. Let me see if I can save a little time by using the power drill. Hold on one second. Nope, can't get it in there. And we'll just take the screw out of the back. We pop that up like so. Okay. On the sight tube, this is what Daisy did on those old original sight tubes. They had the hump in the gun on the top, and they cut little notches which made a tang here, which slid into this, just like putting your feet into a shoe, and that held the front tight. Now, as I mentioned, instead of having this on here, which I replaced this one with one of the standard ones you might find on your Red Ryder, but instead of replacing it with one of these or taking this and grinding it down, I simply cut a relief on the bottom of the shot tube or the sight tube. And so this is able to lay inside of there without obstructing the view inside, because inside of here we have, and I'm going to, if you can see it, you see the, if I can illuminate that a little better. That's the peep sight. Little peephole in there. And because it's so close to the center of the sight tube, that little hump on the spring retainer is not going to obstruct anything. It sits way in front and below that peep. So this is the sight tube. It's going to look a lot better when we get it painted up. We're going to blacken it and so forth. And of course in the back here, instead of cutting everything away except for a tang like this to hold it, I just drilled a large enough hole in the top, and we're using the whole thing, give the diameter a little bit of strength and so forth. So we just put a hole up in here. The head of the screw can fit through there, but not through the bottom, and it all holds itself tight. Okay, folks, there you have the latest rendition of what I've been playing with out here in the Daisy Workshop. This is the Daisy Lever Gun Fun version of a sight tube. If you have any questions or comments, love to hear from you. And if anybody can think of what that other model was, they had at least one other model that I can't remember it now. I think it may have been the Eagle, but okay. Look forward to hearing from you. If you get a chance, give us a thumbs up, or let me know about any other sight projects that you've been doing, because we're always open for new suggestions. Talk to you later. Bye.